few months ago, I got a request to do a what's in your makeup bag type video. And I honestly haven't done it, first because I'm a little bit shamed. But mainly because it's kind of complicated. I don't really have a makeup bag or a makeup section, so to speak. It's more of a hodgepodge of a collection that I've accumulated over entirely too much time. It's a mess, y'all. And just to step back, the way I store my makeup right now, it lives in 3 different places in my house. So, long story short, there's not really a good place to store my makeup in the traditional place most people would store it, and there's not really a good place for me to do my makeup in our master suite area. So when we first moved in, every time I wanted to do my makeup, I would have to pull out everything I thought I wanted to use, haul it into another room along with my brushes and all that good stuff, do my makeup, and then haul it back down. And needless to say, that got old really, really fast. It wasn't a move. It was ghetto, and I do not recommend that. So eventually I ended up carving out some space here in my office to store some things. So right now, you're seeing a third of my makeup collection in the background here. That's all the stuff I typically use on a daily basis, or I won't say a daily basis. It's the products that I'm gonna reach for pretty much every time I do my makeup and my tools. That's what's happening over there. Then directly across the room that you cannot see is other products that I use semi-often but in rotation. Like, I don't use the same blush every day, but I do use blush pretty much every time I do my makeup. Things like that. My powders, stuff that I have more than one of, I store there. And then the last third of my makeup is in a trunk that is currently moonlighting on nights and weekends as a table. So, yeah, it's getting better, but we're not quite there yet. And furthermore, I have a confession to make. So last fall, I did a whole video for you all talking about when you should be throwing away your makeup. And I have not exactly practiced what I preached. So I figured I can show you all what's in my collection, but we gonna declutter. I'm gonna go through my collection, Marie Kondo some things, thank it for what it did, and send it on to Glory. And hopefully y'all will keep me accountable in getting rid of some of this stuff. And what I'll try to do is, as I go through my collection, I'm well aware half of this stuff is probably discontinued. I'll be honest about that if I come across it, but I'll try to highlight my favorites and things that I know that you can repurchase. But also, if I find any complete fails, I'll tell y'all don't buy that, because you need to know that too. So let's relax, relate, release, and dive in. Okay, I think I want to start with primers. Yeah, let's do primers. So first up, Makeup Forever. Makeup Forever is one of my favorite brand of complexion products to begin with. So I have their Step 1 Skin Equalizer Smoothing Primer, which is kind of their mattifying, pore filling type primer, and their Hydra Boost Primer, which I really enjoy both of these. And Makeup Forever does sell many sizes that you can travel with or trial. But since this one is an older formulation of this that they don't even make anymore, thank you for your service. Goodbye. Next up in the primer category, Fashion Fair. I did a whole review on Fashion Fair when they launched this time last year. I bought the foundation first and then I went back later and got the primer, the skin priming serum, excuse me, and it's okay. It's really great in terms of keeping your makeup still and smoothing your canvas. I wouldn't necessarily write home about it, but it's not bad. I feel like I would only repurchase this if I repurchase the stick foundation that it goes with. That's just my opinion. So this one I'm going to keep and just ride out for a while. Next up, Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. So once upon a time in the Stone Ages, Smashbox was the leader in the primer category, and when they came out with this primer water, I thought it was the most amazing thing, but in retrospect, I really don't think it did much of anything. And furthermore, it's discontinued. I don't think they even make this anymore, and I don't think they have made this for a very long time. So goodbye. And then I have my Laneige Glowy Makeup Serum. I just bought this recently from one of the JCPenney's that's getting rid of their Sephora. It's a serum, but it's also a makeup base. I actually used it today. I think I actually used this today. I really enjoy it. Check your local JCPenney if they still have a Sephora and see if they're getting rid of this for like dirt cheap. And last but not least in the primer category, LYS Secure Skin Gripping Serum Primer. Dare I say, this is probably my favorite primer I have in my collection right now. It indeed has a gripping effect. You can feel it in the texture, but it's not sticky, and it is very much serum-like in its consistency. The skin still breathes very nicely, but it does hold your makeup in place and provide a very nice base. So this one is absolutely a keeper and one that I will re-up when I'm done. Okay, on to foundation. Today I am actually wearing my Thread Beauty Face It foundation stick. I bought it in 2 shades initially because I wasn't quite sure which one would work. I have 120 and 130. I'm gonna keep 120 and ditch 130 because it's not dark enough for me to do anything with it. It's not light enough for me to highlight. It's just kind of there. So thank you, goodbye. All right, next up, Makeup Forever. Makeup Forever has a special place in my heart in terms of complexion products because it's the first brand that had a foundation that was pretty much a perfect match for me, and they were one of the first brands that had an extensive shade range in their foundations. So I started out with the OG Face and Body, then I picked up Water Blend when they reformulated it, and then last year they reformulated or got rid of Water Blend in favor of Water Tone and Reboot. I hated Water Tone. I reviewed it on this channel and took it back. It was terrible. But I kept Reboot because I really like it. It's got skincare benefits. It is lightweight, but it is kind of perfecting and all of those good things. It's a great everyday foundation. So I am going to keep it and try to knock it down a little bit further. Then way back when, I picked up the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Cover Stick Foundation. This is the first stick foundation I ever owned. I loved the formula because it's, or at least it was, moist but not greasy, matte but not dry. It was like the perfect balance. I'll try to insert a photo here of a look that I've done with this. But the drawback is that sometimes Makeup Forever shades, the shade numbers are not equal across their products. So I bought Y505 in this because I had Y505 in this and it was a perfect match, but this was not. I don't know if you can see this on camera. I'll swatch this here. But this foundation, the color isn't wrong, but it's like the undertone of it is peachy. It's hard to really show it here. But yeah, it has this weird peachy undertone that isn't there in this. So I wouldn't repurchase this again, as much as I love the formula. And quite frankly, this bottle is ancient. Thank you so much for your service. Goodbye. And then last but not least, for Makeup Forever is HD Skin, which is their newest reformulation of their cult classic Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. It's one of the few, if not the only, buildable to full coverage foundations I have in my collection, just because I don't really do that, but it's good to have on hand for that reason. Sephora. Eons ago, I bought the Bright Future skin tint with sunscreen because I was looking for a skin tint, and at the time we weren't really big on that in the beauty industry, and I needed something that had sunscreen, so I bought it. It was okay. I didn't love it. And furthermore, here at the top, you won't be able to see this, but it says expires September 2019. So if this expired 3 years ago, God only knows when I actually bought it. Goodbye. Next up, speaking of sunscreen, the Estee Lauder Double Wear Sheer Longwear Makeup with Broad Spectrum SPF 19. Did a short on this because influencer sent it to me, and y'all, terrible. And it's not just that the color was a mismatch. The sunscreen, I'm just hypothesizing here that it's the sunscreen that made this look gray on me. Nope. Nude sticks. This brand has come under controversy here lately for some of their political stances, but I bought this the last time I went to New York, which was probably 3 years ago. This is the Tinted Blur Stick in the color Deep 9. I used it almost to the bottom, and it's basically a tinted moisturizer sheer coverage foundation stick. You can use it as foundation, you can use it as primer. I've used it as both with decent success. If you use Nude Sticks products, this is a decent one to have in your arsenal. If not, don't worry about it, but it's a 3-year-old foundation that I've pretty much used up. Oma by Sharon C. This one popped onto the scene last June. I bought their Flawless in Real Life Skin Perfecting Foundation. This is probably my other buildable to full foundation in my collection. I got it in Brown Sugar T1. I'm going to get rid of this first because it's old, and second because the shade isn't quite a match for me, and I am actually going to repurchase it. So see you later. Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. This one is fairly new in my collection. I really love it as a lightweight foundation, and I look forward to trying it with her new blurring balm. Keep it. Fashion Fair. This is the first stick foundation I purchased in the modern era. I bought it when the brand launched last year, and it's been really good to me. I've traveled with this. I've worn it to formals, and so far so good. But I'm noticing this particular one is starting to not perform as well as it should, which is another sign that it's time to get rid of it. So this one, I think I can get a handful more wears out of it and then chunk it, and I think I will repurchase. Westman Atelier. This is another one influencer sent me that I test drove. It's great for a 10-minute face. The packaging is amazing. Gonna keep it. It's fairly new. Walk Down Memory Lane. I don't know if y'all remember Flesh Cosmetics. It was basically Revlon's answer to Fenty back in 2018. They had launched with 40 shades of foundation. They had a stick foundation that I really wanted, but I didn't get a chance to try because the brand went the way of the albatross in like 2 years. It was here today, gone tomorrow. And I did end up getting their Pure Flesh foundation, but there's no reason for me to hold on to a 4-year-old foundation that never really matched me well anyway. So goodbye. Speaking of memory lane and Fenty, the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Foundation. This was all the rage when it first came out because of what it represented, and I have to be 100% honest, controversial opinion, I don't love it. I actually got married in this foundation. I'll put up a picture there. Because I felt like I needed a little bit more coverage or whatever, but in retrospect, I really wish I had just worn my water blender face and body like I always do. It's okay, and I don't think I would repurchase this again. So that's it for the foundations. I need a break. I think I will come back with concealers, setting sprays, and a few other complexion products. We got a ways to go, but we'll get it done.